Hi there, I'm Chef Celeste, and you're watching Cooking Up Louisiana Treasures, where we take you around our great state to show you the wonderful foods that we have here. And on today's show, we are talking US Farm Raised Catfish.
Welcome to Inverness, Mississippi, home of Harvest Select's Catfish Hatchery. This is a catfish fingerling and brooder operation. This is where we produce the baby catfish stockers from the parent catfish.
Think of a hatchery as a nursery for catfish. It's where US Farm Raised Catfish come into the world.
Well, a hatchery facility consists of multiple catfish ponds. We actually have ponds that are designated for the parent catfish. Those are what we call our brood ponds. We have 18 of those. Then we have what we call our rearing ponds, and we actually have 82 of those. And then we have the hatchery, which is the heart of the operation, even though it's the least used, because the spawn season is very short, basically an 8 or 9 week period of time that we collect the eggs and then bring them and hatch them.
Some ponds serve as spawning environments for the catfish. Some ponds are for rearing, and the hatchery facility itself is where catfish eggs are hatched. Got it?
The ponds are all shallow ponds. Our ponds, the average depth is only 5 feet. And our water supply comes directly from our own wells. And because of the delta in the summer and the heat, we constantly add fresh water into the ponds. The water comes out of an aquifer. Basically, the water comes out at a temperature somewhere around 62 degrees. But certainly as it gets in the pond in the summer heat, waters can get as high as 100 degrees in the middle of the summer. And we can have ponds freeze over in the wintertime. So it's an environment just like you and I go through, the fish goes through.
The environment folks like Russ create for the catfish within these ponds has to be near perfect. It's only when nature takes its course, and nature must take its course for the hatchery to open for business.
Starting in late April is the beginning of hatching season, and it goes on through about June. We'll collect the eggs from the brood ponds. We'll bring them here to the hatchery, acclimate the water in the hauling tank to the hatching tanks, place them in these hatching tanks. These are the hatching tanks, and what these tanks are doing is simulating what the male catfish does naturally. These paddles are gently stirring the water during hatching season. The water would be about to this level, and these paddles are stirring the water. It gives those eggs a nice shake so that water can get to the interior of the mass of eggs so that all of the eggs can hatch normally.
All this tech ensures that conditions are optimal, and you want conditions to be optimal in order to maintain the high volumes of US farm-raised catfish hatcheries like this produce.
In an 8-week season here at Harvest Select, we'll hatch about 72 million fish.
That's 72 million catfish hatched and nurtured in under 8 weeks.
Once the fish hatch, they're called sack fry, and they're a bright red in color. They have attached to them a yolk sac. It's nutrition for them for the next several days, and gradually over the next 8 to 10 days, they will absorb the yolk sac and turn darker as their pigment develops, and begin searching for feed as they absorb the yolk. And at that point, we will feed what is now called a swim-up fry for a couple of days before they are transferred from the hatchery to the pond.
Our job is to get them to roughly 6-7 inch fish so they can stock in the food fish ponds. The reason this is important is because within our company, we do what's called multi-batching. We actually will put these small fish in a pond that already has 2 other generations of fish, one close to harvest, one maybe 5 or 6 months away from harvest, and then our newest fish may be 12 to 18 months till they're ready to harvest. And we usually stock 2 to 3 times a year as we add additional generations under that. This optimizes the feed use in the pond, and also gives the ponds what we call a continuous production cycle. That means that we can harvest fish out of that pond 4 to 6 times a year for the processing plant.
It takes an environmentally sustainable farming operation like this to produce the volume of US farm-raised catfish the market demands year-round. That's a process we'll continue to learn more about on today's edition of Cooking Up Louisiana Treasures. Oh, I can do that? Let me have this one. I want that one. I want that one and that one. Some whole. I want this one. Yeah. Nice. Thank you. Oh, wow. We have our US Farm Raised Catfish. After the break, we're going to come back and cook it up.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Do you think he's on his way? He doesn't even know that we're here. Is he okay? Please tell me he's okay.
Laura.
Okay, try to call him again.
There's no signal.
Try.
Nothing's working.
Well, just
Everything's
try.
down.
This is so bad. He's out there by himself.
Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov.
Get up, I know you found a way. Head up, look through those clouds of gray.
Now it's our turn. Go to ourturntohelp.org and donate what you can. Hope is on the way.
Welcome back. We are with our guest, Dr. Mike Strain with the Department of Agriculture and Forestry. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, U.S. Farm Raised Catfish. It is delicious and flaky and tender, and that is not by accident.
No, it's not. And you know, our farmers, catfish farming is one of the most intensive forms of farming you can do. Those farmers are out there continuously monitoring their ponds or fields, or whatever you'd like to call them, ponds.
Okay.
They're fed a very specific diet, specifically formulated, and it is corn and beans and and vitamins and minerals and that sort of thing. And so we monitor the water, the oxygen levels, and when you harvest these catfish, they're beautiful. And when you look today and you see what that catfish looks like, and it has a consistent flavor, a very buttery flavor, a very consistent texture. It's high in protein, it's low in cholesterol, it's very, very healthy, and it's absolutely delicious.
So tell me what's new in regulation for catfish.
Well, now the United States Department of Agriculture is actually doing the inspection of all the imported catfish, and also we are working under the Food Safety Modernization Act to where all the exporters of products are also going to be regulated and inspected at the point of departure there. And so the entire fish industry is under a higher level of regulation to make sure that it is nice and healthy and wholesome. And we invite those inspections, and we are part of that. And so that when you get that catfish, you know it's healthy, and you know it was processed properly, and you know it was raised under proper conditions. And so when you bring that home to your family, it's safe, it's nutritious, and delicious.
Harvest Select is a vertically integrated company. That means they are integrated in part or in full in every stage of the U.S. Farm Raised Catfish production process. Randy Rhodes is the president.
We're a vertically integrated company that does both hatching, farming, food fish, processing of the plant in Uniontown and in transportation as well. So we completely cover it all the way through and a partner in the feed mill. Our farms are scattered, but probably 125 miles roughly from our plant back and forth, except the hatchery is 200 miles away. Our customer base is scattered from Alaska to Miami to Boston to San Diego, so we're scattered throughout the country.
Innovative transportation methods and efficient processing ensures extremely fast delivery across that market. But perhaps the most impressive feature of this operation is the environmentally sustainable nature of their aquaculture.
The sustainability of catfish is the ultimate model, probably in the world when it gets down to it. We've gone through this process for the last 40 years with USDC, USDA, FDA, EPA. All of these processes have been in mind a government-regulated industry, and we've been the most successful aquaculture industry in the United States. So when you look at the sustainability of catfish, because we do have our own hatcheries and we're maintaining the quality, and these farmers have that ultimate process in mind, from the way we use the well water to the time we process it in the plant to get you the quality product, and to emphasize US farm raised, American raised catfish is what it's all about.
Well, Commissioner, what we're going to do first over here is I put some potatoes in the steamer, let them par cook a little bit, cut them into some thick wedges. So we're going to season those up while we do our catfish.
Very good.
Because the catfish is so nice and tender that it's not going to take a long time for it to cook. I love US Farm Raised Catfish. So I have a little bit of Cajun spice seasoning on here.
Beautiful catfish.
Yes, it is. Look
beautiful
at that. Let me turn
fillets.
that around. Let you look at that.
That's incredible.
Yes, and just remember, some of the dishes that I'm going to do today, you can actually use the catfish whole and just have it just dressed out a little bit.
And it cooks so fast.
So we're going to add that to it. I'm going to add a little bit of rosemary.
Okay, so Cajun seasoning and some rosemary. Okay.
A little bit of parsley flakes.
There you go.
And I'm not putting it over the whole pan because I'm just using certain ones right now for certain dishes. So these are going to be whole.
And you have your fire about
This is on
medium or?
it's on, I'm going to crank it up to 400 degrees. If you don't have one of these bad boys, just get your cast iron skillet going and you'll still be fine. Then I'm going to do this in 3 sections.
Okay.
And that looks like that's going to fit perfectly on my
on our
slider
sliders.
bun. Want to season up the back of my catfish?
I will, yes.
So, grab your spatula over there.
Okay.
Let's flip these thinner pieces of catfish towards the back. Let's see what that one's looking like, if we're getting some caramelization on there.
Yes, you are.
Give me some color on that one. Give me some seasoning
I
on the
can do
other
that.
side.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta have a little more wrist technique there, right?
How many times did you try that one? 3?
3.
Was that 3, folks?
That was 3.
Okay,
but I did the other one in 1, right?
Yeah,
All right, you want me
okay,
to
that
turn
makes
these
up
yet?
for the. No, not
Not
yet
yet,
on those.
okay.
We're going to let those go for a little bit.
But look how those are cooking up.
Yes, they're
and
cooking up
plumping up
nicely.
very,
So
very,
give
very
us some
nicely.
more color on there.
Okay.
And while that's going, our potatoes are baked, and we're going to say twice cooked potatoes because they were baked and now they're in the skillet. We're going to take our buns. Pop that on the plate right there, on the skillet. I'll put this one here.
Okay.
Put it on the
Get your
hot
little one.
portion of it.
Okay.
That is smelling really good.
It is.
Really good.
It
I like
is.
that. Look at the color I'm getting on here. Let me move this pot out the way because we're going to use that one in the next segment. So let me show you here. We're just going to turn those over.
Okay.
Have some nice color on them. Look at that.
Okay.
You don't have to deep fry every single thing. So we're going to get away from that a little bit. Give me some more seasoning on top of here.
Okay, I can do that.
Now, I will say that with the deep frying, but I won't say that with my sugar. You know I like my sweet food. So that's one of the beauties with the US Farm Raised Catfish. It's nice and sweet on that flavor. We're going to add some red onion to it.
And the thing about the catfish, it will also absorb many of those different flavors from all your
Yes.
herbs and everything that
Yes.
you put on it.
Now just think of this. You're trying to cut down on your fast food, which you should be cutting down on your fast food. You take your US Farm Raised Catfish, because I love burgers. So you take a US Farm Raised Catfish, you make it into small little pieces like this here. Let me put this on the plate.
Okay, do you want me to?
Put my tomato wedge on the plate. Let me get my potato over here.
And that kale cooks really
Flip it over.
quickly.
I don't know if I'm gonna let him try this one here. I may have to eat this one myself.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah.
let me have your catfish on here.
Okay.
I want that one.
You want this one?
Nice and thin.
This? Oh, the
This
thin one.
This, the thin
Oh,
one.
it took me 3 tries to get the right one.
It did.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Now-
I'll take that one.
You want this one now?
Okay. Now I need some onions.
Oh, yes. Get you some onions.
Yes. Doesn't have to be all of them, but yes, give me some onions right here.
Okay.
Kale.
Okay. A little bit of kale.
A little bit of
Right.
kale.
There.
Gotta have your lettuce, your tomatoes, all that good stuff on there.
Looky there.
Look
Okay.
at there. You put that on there.
And you can make this in just a few minutes. It's
Yes.
very, very quick.
You can. Very quick. We're done. I love my potatoes. It's nothing better than burgers.
And potatoes.
potatoes.
And you cook that.
Play on
You
burger
steamed it,
fries.
and then you put it in the pan, and you cooked it a little bit more, so
Yeah.
there's really no oil.
There's
there,
no oil anywhere
oil,
in this
you know,
dish. So we are 100% healthy with our US Farm Raised Catfish sliders.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
That's low. That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
So, Commissioner, you like baked potatoes?
I love baked potatoes.
I love baked potatoes also. So you know what we're going to do here? We are going to have a seafood loaded baked potato. But it's not just any seafood.
No.
We're going to have 2 different types in here, so I'm going to let you guess. What do you think I'm going to use?
Well, I think we're going to use this USA catfish.
I think we're going to use that too.
I think so.
US Farm Raised Catfish.
And I see you put a little bit of garlic in
I
here.
did. We have the garlic going in there. Mix some of your kale in there because I like the kale.
You want me to kale in with the catfish?
I want kale in with the
catfish.
catfish. You know I like
mixing
to
that together.
sneak my vegetables in there whenever I can.
I did bring a little onions in there.
You brought a little onions in there?
Yep.
We like onions. You like onions?
I love onions.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to scoop
right
some in.
ahead.
I'm going to let you do one. Let me have that platter over there.
Okay.
And then whether it's holiday time, any time of the year, any day of the week is a great time to use US Farm Raised Catfish because it's light, it's versatile. You see we've had our sliders.
And you
we've
can
had
cook
our
it so
baked
quickly.
potatoes. Yes, you can cook it very quickly.
Yes.
So I'm going to move this one out of the way.
Okay.
And I want you to move that saucepan over and turn it over. Turn it on, rather, because we are now going to make some mushroom catfish.
Okay. So
it's
now
so easy.
I've got it on a medium high.
That's going to be our oil. Cream of mushroom soup. Yes, that's
and now,
oil in there.
Okay, and we've already seasoned the catfish.
Yes, catfish is already seasoned.
It's beautiful fillets.
Yes, it
Look how
is.
nice those are.
So,
oh, no, that is doing really, really nicely.
Yes, we're going to let that go. That cream of mushroom soup is kind of bubbling up there.
Look at that.
It's making my mouth
Boy,
water.
you smell that, don't you?
Yes,
Right?
so, but while we're doing that cream of mushroom soup, you know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
Because I already have some in here for you. We're actually going to turn this back into a soup. Can you give me some water in that pot right there? That pot right there. Put some water in there. And watch, the tops of these potatoes that we had, I didn't even peel the skin off of it. This is almost going to be like a catfish chowder. Nice and simple. Look at this. Almost like a clam chowder.
Okay.
We're going to have a catfish chowder.
Everywhere I go, people want to feed me. You ever want to, because I'm the commissioner, right?
Okay, tell us why, because I can imagine why.
Well, first of all, you know, I think they know that I like to eat, right?
Okay, and then besides that.
But you know, one of the things about just farmers and people and cooks, they just love to feed people, right? And it's part of that heartfelt hello, right? It's another way to say hello. And it's like, hey, Doc, you have just got to try this. I said, I surely do.
It doesn't take long at all. Not at all.
Okay, we are on low.
Okay.
And
some
you
black
can cook
pepper on
this
top
up,
of there.
You know,
I like heat.
Yes.
I like to see my heat. Oh yeah.
And the black pepper gives it a tremendous flavor as well.
And this is cracked black pepper, but yeah, that's looking Really good. Give me a little bit more paprika on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fresh garlic in there.
Fresh garlic.
Get you a little more fresh garlic in here, only because why not?
Well, my mother brought us up with lots of fresh garlic.
Done.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Okay. We are ready to taste. I want you to start off with that chowder. Nice. Look at these nice.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Big chunks of catfish.
This is delicious.
So, can you taste the flavor of the catfish coming through?
I can. And you taste the texture and all the different ingredients. The catfish absorbs all these other flavors. You can taste the mushrooms there. You know, you can taste all the seasoning.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
And you know what I'm thinking as you're eating that? You know, San Francisco has their clam chowder. I love to go to the Fisherman's Wharf and try the clam chowder. But why don't you start your own catfish chowder?
I would put this up against anybody's chowder.
I like that. Try the catfish with the sweet potatoes. Yeah. Now that's two of my favorite combinations. You have the nice sweet catfish. You pair that with the mashed sweet potatoes or just a plain baked sweet potato, and you are talking really
about
good
a healthy
stuff.
meal. You look at this diet. We cooked it. It was quick. You use a minimum, just really no oils of any kind.
No oil at all.
You know, we cooked this catfish. You cooked this catfish, we cooked this catfish in cream of mushroom soup, right? And we use peppers, parsley, Cajun seasoning as well, and we put that all together. I did sneak a piece of catfish.
Was it good? Can't go wrong with US Farm Raised Catfish.
The US Farm Raised Catfish we all enjoy is farmed by guys like Tom Houston. He is the farm manager for the Utah Catfish Farm in Belaghy, Alabama.
We have roughly 1,500 water acres split up onto 3 individual farms.
From those 1,500 water acres, Tom expects to pull 7.5 million pounds of U.S. farm-raised catfish every year.
We pride ourselves that we provide year-round work to our employees, which is something that a lot of agriculture doesn't do.
And that's a lot of work.
We've got a lot of tasks we have to do every day. These fish have to be cared for 24/7. So we've got a team of people that watch over them all night. Then I normally hop in the feed truck and start feeding while my other guys start cutting tractors off to save us fuel and moving to treat the water.
Treating water is at the core of what catfish farmers like Tom do.
The way we look at it, the fish are going to be good if the water's good. So we spend most of our time focusing on having good, pristine water And from there, the fish are just a byproduct of that. Each pond is individual. It's got a different algal community in it. Now we target a dark green color for harvest. That's going to give us the best oxygen swings during the day. It's a very easily manageable pond, and it produces catfish with the clean, kind of mild flavor that people want in their catfish. So we manage the water to try and get that dark green algal bloom.
A lot goes into managing the water quality of these ponds. A large part of that is ensuring a high level of oxygen within the water. Paddle wheels like these serve as aeration units which splash the water to create a current which injects oxygen into the water. These paddle wheels turn on and off as determined by real-time data collected from monitors that float in each pond.
The catfish are free to do what they want in the ponds. We provide the oxygen that they need and we provide the food that they need. But for the rest of their lives, they're basically living the same life a wild fish would in these ponds. We are just the stewards of these ponds to make sure that they are always a good place for these fish to live. Keeping the water quality right, keeping the oxygen high, making sure that the fish are happy living here, because as long as we keep that, we're gonna get good numbers of fish and great tasting fish.
That flavor we know is captured at the point of harvest. When to pull the fish and if Tom is going to get paid is determined by his ability to deliver that consistent flavor to the processing plant.
Over the process of a week, I send 3 samples in, and they all have to be on flavor over a week, and then we have to harvest the day after my last sample goes in, because they're afraid that after that last sample they'll go off flavor. So we want to hit it as soon as we know they're on flavor. Then once the fish get to the plant, they're on the truck, they get tasted again, and if they're off flavor, it's a big loss because now we've got them on the truck. So we're very serious about making sure that our testing is done correctly and that we have multiple checks before we get to the plant. So anytime you get that good taste, we're real happy because it's a lot of work we put in to make sure that that taste is consistent for the customer.
Thank you for staying with us today on this episode of Cooking Up Louisiana Treasures, where we talked all about US Farm Raised Catfish, and we gave you some delicious recipes to try. I'd say they were delicious.
They're absolutely incredible.
And how can they keep in touch with us?
Well, they can go to our website. Again, go and look at cookinguplouisianatreasures.com. You can go to my website, www.ldaf.la.gov.
That's
you can
right.
get these recipes, and you can also think about this. Look at this, and you can have this for supper tonight. This is all locally sourced product. We cook it up fresh, hot in the kitchen, and it's absolutely incredible.
US Farm Raised Catfish. Ask for it by name. See you next time. You've been watching Cooking Up Louisiana Treasures. Watch more clips from the show online at cookinguplouisianatreasures.com.